Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Beatrice, and I'm here with Stasha. You'll hear a little bit more about her in just a second. But for those that are connecting with us in this interview series for the first time, the Let's Talk About Business Collaboration series is all about bringing other entrepreneurs together to the interview for them to share their collaboration stories behind their business, what they do, what they've done in collaboration with other businesses, because that's going to help you understand a little bit more about how collaboration works in real life. And this particular interview today, I am very excited about, because Stasha is the first international guest speaker that we are having in the interview series. So it's so excited. I'm so excited to have you here, Stasha. And I'm really, really looking forward to hear all you have to share today about business collaboration. And for those that are watching, I would just quickly like to tell you how we connected. And Stasha has recently put together a summit that is called the Red Circle. She'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. And she just shared a very short video in one of the Facebook groups that we are part of, just sharing her experience putting together this summit, sharing her learnings, the advantage, the disadvantages of doing a summit, the challenges that you face when you are collaborating with so many people at the same time. And I just found that fascinating and a great topic to discuss today in the interview series. So I think I will get started straight away, and I will hand it over to you, Stasha, so you can tell us a little bit more about what you do, and just introducing us to the summit and what that's about. So go ahead.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone for listening or watching or both. I am Stasha. I am known as the period coach. So what I do ultimately is break the taboos that keep us women separate. So we talk all things menstrual, obviously, as the period coach. And my life mission is to end that taboo. I truly believe that the world would be a much better place if women were deeply connected to themselves and to this very sacred cycle that we have. I am a very science and woo based blender. I like to put it all in the blender together and do what works for my people. So I have a few different programs that I offer. I do things like my FPMS program. You can guess what the F stands for, but we'll keep it rated G. But the FPMS program is really because a lot of women have painful periods and really bad PMS and mood swings and things that really affect them in their whole lives. And this is open to everyone. But then I get more focused, and I have a signature program called Your Business, Your Flow. And this is where I work with female entrepreneurs, women who run their own schedules. I've had lots of CEOs in there of corporations and whatnot, but they're in charge of the calendars, as well as moms of multiple kids, because that's running a business, let's be honest. More so than a business, frankly, but it's all about really tuning in and using that power in your cycle. And in all of the research I've done over the years, I learned that our hormonal balance actually changes the way our brain works. And as women, we could be using that as a powerful advantage, not just in business, but in life, relationships, dating, the whole 9 yards. Or you can not connect to it, and you will be kind of butting up against yourself, whether you like it or not, because ignoring it doesn't mean that your brain doesn't stop shifting. It still keeps shifting. So I think something we can all identify with is that time when you're trying to do something, like, you know, you're trying to talk to a partner and the words just will not, you cannot think of the right words to save your life, or you're trying to do something and you just cannot get it completed, or that day that you just drop everything no matter what. Well, it turns out all of that is very connected to our cycles. So there's times when our verbal skills peak, our physicality peaks, there's all of these different things. So I like using our powers. I tell women in YBYF that I've just taught you how to be a master manipulator. Now go use your powers for good. Please don't use them for evil. But if it is evil, I hope it's fun mischief. So
Wow.
power, and I want women to learn about it. So I try to run my business from both a all women are welcome standpoint, but I also want women who are running their businesses to be using this to their advantage, because I would like more women out there running their businesses and changing the world, but I'd like them to be doing it with ease and grace and flow and no burnout. So this is why I ended up having kind of my foot in two different worlds. And as a business coach, I'm an assistant coach for a multi-million-dollar business coach. And then my own business coaching programs, I am very much an open book on how I run my business and how I use my own flow to my advantage. And I like to just share that information with people. So I love kind of live streaming like I did. This is what I did, and this is what happened, and this worked out well, and this did not work out so well, and you should definitely do this before you do it. And
I love that about you. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And it's, one of the things is that my life vision is to end the taboo, and not talking about things enforces taboos. So I am perfectly happy to talk about anything. There's no topic I'm not going to dive into. You cannot gross me out. You cannot give me TMI. It's not possible. So I feel like, I should just be the example, practice what you preach and be the example. So I try my best.
That's awesome. You're doing great, actually. And I don't usually spend very long at the introduction of the interview, just understanding or getting to know what people or what the guest speaker that I've brought to the interview series, who they work with in detail. I mean, describing exactly when you have someone coming to you with a problem, what's the problem? How do they feel? But I think that for you is really important to describe that, because when I first connected with you and I was going through what you do and who you work with and the different things that you've been, the programs that you have available, it was kind of a little bit challenging, I guess, to say, how do I know, if I actually want to work with Stasha? Like, how should I feel about my period? And that's what the first thing that came to mind. So if you could elaborate a little bit more about that, so people, whoever that is watching, actually understand, okay, you are the lady that I have to work with, because this is exactly how I'm feeling. How could you articulate that so we can get a little bit more clarity about it?
I think one of the biggest things is that you want to have a deeper, juicier connection with, there's like a tickle in the back of your head, and that there's more. That there's a deeper connection, there's a deeper place to dive into, and you can't put your finger on it. But it's like this itch in the back of your head where something's not quite right. That there's something that's not connecting, and you want to make it. And that's where I think that we have the cycle disconnect, right? So our cycle is a circle, but when we're not really in tune with it, that cycle is just not lining up. You're not making a beautiful closed circuit. And I feel that a lot of the women that come to me have very superficial things, mood swings, painful periods, cyclical headaches, fatigue, all these kinds of bloating, sore boobs, all of the things that go along with having period problems. They want to get off of birth control. They want to get off of the hormonal birth control. They want to figure out a way to have birth control that's not going to affect their body negatively. The hormonal birth control options they have cons, big cons to them. So there's all of that stuff are definitely what people come to me on that surface level. on that physical level. But I think when it gets down to it, they're all women who want to make the connection. They really want to get in tune with themselves. They want to be able to hear their intuition. They want to be able to hear the wisdom in their body. They want to be able to be the person who knows their body better than anyone else. They'll go to the doctor, but they don't want to go to the doctor and have the doctor tell them what's going on in their body. They want to go, this is what's going on in my body. I know what this means, and I know what I need to do next. They're the masters of their own ship, so to speak, and they know their body intimately, and it's a very foreign feeling for women this day and age to feel that connection and know what's actually happening in their body. So your period, that's what it does. It tells you, it is your diagnostic for your whole body. If you just are in tune each day, you take a couple of seconds and connect into it, and you start to learn what the signs are and what's going on, you know exactly what's happening in your body all of the time. And it is an amazingly liberating feeling. It's powerful feeling too. So that's definitely the thing that all of the women that come to me, regardless of why, quote unquote, they come, it's a couple days in, they go, okay, no, you're right. This is really why I'm here.
That's amazing. And I guess that is that, looking for that connection with your inner self, which at the end is gonna, introduce you to a completely different, lifestyle, way to do things, and even ways to interact with yourself, because sometimes we don't even know what happens to us. So that's amazing. I love it.
And it's nothing new. That's the thing. Like, there's no reason to be afraid, because the stuff that we're doing is the stuff that's genetically coded in our DNA. We know this stuff. We know that our period is this very powerful tool and this thing that we could be using. And women have always known this. So it's really just reaching back into our ancestral feminine archetypal line and just pulling out the magic and the knowledge and the power and bringing it into right now, and using the science that we have right now to see things and verify things and use all of this amazing knowledge to our advantage. But it's nothing new, and it feels like going home, really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that. I love the sound of it. It sounds fantastic. Wow, that's amazing. Thanks for doing that, Stasha. I think that is very clear now who come to you and which sort of issues and problems or challenges that they want to solve. So thank you so much for clarifying that.
For sure.
Now, to go into the detail of what we are going to discuss today, business collaboration. I think that a good way to get started with that is if you could share with us what business collaboration means to you, and how will you describe it?
Yeah. I think business collaboration is a win-win-win. First of all, it's two businesses coming together for mutual benefit. So there's your win-win. But there's a third win there, and that is the greater good, the viewers, the audience, the tribe, the people, because they're getting something that they wouldn't get otherwise. You're providing double the value, double the content, double the insight. So when you are collaborating, it's not just a win for your business and a win for your partner's business, but it's also a win for both of your audiences and hopefully some more people, because they'll grow that conversation too. So it really turns into like a win-win-win-win-win.
Wow. Amazing. I think that I'm going to create a hashtag with that now, like win-win-win, because that's exactly what I think. And mostly, exactly what you said, for both businesses involved, but more importantly, for those that are watching, listening, following, learning, growing is the benefit for them, which matters the most, because at the end of the day, we are in business to help others. And if we can come together and help them in a greater level, why wouldn't we?
Yeah. And that's kind of the difference between the dude way of doing business and the feminine way of doing business. You know, yes, you need to keep an eye on your business. You need to measure, test, analyze, figure it all out. You need structure and all that good stuff. But if you lose your focus on your life vision, what's that life vision statement? What's your business vision statement? And how are you providing that for your people? If you lose that, you've lost your feminine flow and you've lost your real purpose. And that's when burnout happens. That's when people quit. That's when the ugly side of business comes out.
That's interesting. Could you share a little bit more with us about the feminine and masculine side of businesses? Because I heard that a lot, and I know that Tash Clothing and a lot of people that I love and I follow in the entrepreneurial world talks about feminine and masculine in business very often. So could you share a little bit more about that, like how does that fit in with collaboration and how they can relate, how you connect those things together?
Yeah, totally. So for my own business, I have my dude business coach, who's a 7-figure American business coach, and I'm an assistant coach for him. So when he releases a program for new people, I'm a business coach there, right? So this is my dude, my masculine training here. And then Tash is my business coach, and she's my girl. She's like sister power there on my other side, right? So I get to really see clearly every single day the masculine and the feminine at work, both successful, mind you, both very successful, both very heart-centered business people. They're both very much that way, both doing their best to change the world for the better. So I love that. And Dr. Lisa Rankin one time said that to do things in the masculine, well, she didn't say it this way. She said, you can be eggy and you can be spermy. Spermy is pushing your way to the goal, right? Okay. And eggy is sitting back and letting it come to you.
Oh.
Now, the masculine way of business is going out there and marketing and driving sales and analyzing and numbers and data, and you lose sight of the heart and the person when you're in that all of the time. Not to say that there isn't a place for it. Your follicular and your ovulation phases are both perfect times to use that energy. But when you're talking about being a female business owner, and even for men, there is a time that you need to just sit back and let them come to you. You need to put the good stuff out there, but you also need to sit back. You need to take care of yourself. You need to do that you need to practice what you preach, right? And you need to do the things that are taking care of you. And that's when you just need to be eggy. You need to sit back, get on your throne, and let it come to you. And there are things that I do not do in my business. I do not market one-on-one at all. When somebody wants one-on-one, they will come to me and they will ask for it. And then we'll have a conversation about it and we will do it. But I do not market one-on-one. Once in a very blue moon, I'll throw it out there just as a less, I think, to attract one-on-one people and more just to establish, like, this is the value that I bring to the table.
Yeah.
So, you know,
that's
if
interesting.
you see something you like, grab it.
Exactly. And you are already doing that anyway with these kind of things, interviewing, you know, writing the summit and all the other things that I'm pretty sure you do. So you are doing that one-on-one marketing anyway without, exactly.
And I don't really look for speaking gigs much anymore because people ask me to do them, and my tribe will send me things like, hey, this girl's looking for a speaker on her summit and I think you'd be awesome for it. And then I will go and check it out. And if I do jive and like it, then I will send hey, somebody told me that you were doing the summit and it looks cool and I'd love to be a speaker for it. But like, there are just things that I don't do anymore and let them come to me. And those are my eggy things. Beautiful. So taking them off of your list makes so much more space. And I've got 3 interviews this week, so it's not like it's not working.
Well, there is nothing best, or there is nothing better in business, I don't think, than becoming magnetic. And at the end of the day, that's what I would like to do. You know, that's my aim, because you want people to come to you because they already know they need you. So you don't have to do any kind of work or convince anyone at all that they actually need to work with you. So you are there to help them if they are ready for that. So that's amazing. I love it. And I love it so much.
And the same goes for any of your collaborations. There are, and one of the things that we were talking about was, you know, some of the top tips you would give somebody doing a collaboration. And one of the top tips that just sprang to my mind immediately when you first asked me that question was that you have to put things out there, but you have to let go. And that's the feminine part of it that we as women tend to, because of that disconnect that we have with our own cyclical nature of gather and release, we forget to release. And sometimes you just have to let go. So
that's interesting. Just put it out
even
there.
in a collaboration, you know, it's not always going to go 100% the way you want it to. And sometimes you just have to let it go.
Yes, that's exactly right. And I guess that focusing on the value that you added to your audience, that will help you get through, you know, the feeling, the frustration and or the anger or whatever you might be feeling because the collaboration kind of like didn't work out for you the way you expected. But it is most likely that it worked for your audience and for many people out there that were needing to listen or to see or to connect with whatever you put together with another beautiful soul out there. So,
and if you can release the expectations, if you can release that pressure from it, you can also see amazing creative things that you can do with what you would maybe consider a failure, quote unquote. So, you know, if you're so set on this being this thing for this purpose, for this reason, and to happen like this, and then it doesn't happen, you're like, well, that was just X amount of months of work in a trash can. But if you let it go and you go, okay, well, we got this far, you got that far. Repurpose, reuse, recycle, be part of the green movement. And reuse that for something else, be creative. And as women, we don't use our creativity nearly as much. And when we say creativity, people think, oh, I'm gonna have to go paint or something. You can be super creative in your business. If you look at, you know, the trail of failures behind you, but just start looking at them with the creative eye, you'll be amazed at the stuff that you can come. You could probably have an entire program laying in behind you if you just turned around and let go of what the expectations were and started looking at it creatively.
Yes, I agree. And you know, just the fact that you have connected with someone that you didn't know before, that's already a win anyway for everybody. So for me, there is always a win when you collaborate, because if it didn't work out the way you wanted it to work for your business, it worked for your audience. And at the very least, you have connected with someone amazing as well. Or maybe not that amazing, but it's fine as well, because you know that that's the kind of person that you don't want to work with. So it's definitely a win from any point of view. So that's what I love about collaboration. And I love what you say about, you know, putting it out there and let it go. At the end of the day, you want people coming to you that, you know, have the same I think that we have to be open to work with any kind of people, even if they are very different to us, because that's when the balance come up, you know, and then you reach a broader audience and you connect with more people and all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, if you want to be magnetic in that way, people that resonate with what you say and that share the mindset when it comes to collaboration, those are the people that you want to connect with at the end of the day. So yeah, I love it so much. So Stasha, can you share with us, I think we could finish the interview like now, because I love what you've shared so far, and it is just fantastic, all the little things that you've shared about collaboration and about how you have to, or the feminine and masculine part of business and all that sort of things. I think that's all relevant for when you are going to collaborate with other people as well, because that's the kind of things that you have to look at as well to figure out if a collaboration might or might not be the right fit for you, because that's about complementing each other. So yeah, I love what you've shared so far. So could you share with us a little bit more about your experience working in collaboration?
Yeah, and I know you wanted to talk about the summit as well, so I'm gonna kind of focus this answer on the summit and that thing. So the summit was 27 speakers, including me, but I had somebody who interviewed me. So it was 27 people that I was actually organizing. And there's no way that you can possibly work with that many people and not have pros and cons happen. Like, that's just part of the process. Like, you can't avoid that, and that's okay. But the beauty is that you really do learn the people that you would love to work with again. You learn the people that have experience, the people who learn quickly, because it's not even necessarily experience that you want, though that's something that I definitely will have more interview questions about next time I do a summit. But people who learn quickly and are self-sufficient, and you learn who those people are. And that's something that the next time I do a summit, I'm definitely going to be interviewing more with that in my mind, even more so than experience, I think, because, you know, people can say anything, like they have experience, this, that, and the other. But then when it comes down to it, I'm asking, you know, you're asking people to do things and they're not getting into on a deadline. They're not getting the right thing in. They don't know what that means. They want you to show them how to set up an opt-in. And you're going, are you kidding me right now? I'm running a summit. I have 27 of you. I don't know what you use for your business. I don't know what your website's hosted on. I don't know what email server you use. I can't explain to you what an opt-in is and the summit launches tomorrow.
Oh my God.
So, you know, I had 2 of the speakers who kind of did that. And I thought, okay, you know what, next time, some of the questions that I need to have need to be focused on how self-reliant are you, how sufficient are you, and how how, not even necessarily experienced, but how prepared are you to get to where we need you to be for this. So when you're collaborating with somebody, I think you really need to have super, super clear expectations, but you need to have an interview process that shows you need to ask more than just straightforward questions. Like, you can't just say, you know, how many people are on your list? Great. Then you're good to go. You need to ask some questions that give you deeper answers and not just yes, no, true, false kind of things.
Do you have any example of 1 or 2 questions that you wish you had asked to those speakers?
So I wish that I had asked, what is your summit, or what's your sales funnel? What is your opt-in funnel? What are the systems that you use, and what do you already have built? You know, what are your opt-ins? What are the freebies? What are your content upgrades? What are your pink spoons? Whatever you want to call them. But what do you have, and how is it built? And I would want to hear, well, you know, I use MailChimp, I use the MailChimp landing pages, and I build a separate thank you page on my site. I use WordPress for that. And, you know, I would want to hear actual this, that, and the other, A, B, C. And that's how I run it, because when it comes to crunch time and someone's asking you questions like that, you should already know how to do this at this point. And if you don't, which is fine, because I'm a business coach and I'm super happy to share with that how to do that, but the day before it goes live is not the day.
Yeah.
So I think that I think that I know that next time I do the summit, which I'll do one in the fall, I'm definitely going to be asking the question of, what does your funnel look like? How is it set up, and what's the systems that you use for it? Because that'll tell me whether or not they actually know what they're doing.
Yes.
And I'm super happy to talk somebody through that, but I'll know that in the interview process. So I'll know, okay, you don't know what this is. Are you willing to learn that immediately and put together, and then to know that I need to follow up with them and make sure that that's done well before we go live. So that was something that I didn't know and I didn't think of, and I wish I had asked. My other question is, I thought it would be clever asking, because all of the professionals tell you to ask them for their VA's email address, right? Because if they have a VA, that means they've got their shit together. Turns out that's not a thing. That's not true, because the only women that had VAs that were on my summit were the only two that turned things in late every time. So
wow,
the VA was not, three. There were 3 women that had VAs, and they were consistently late on every deadline. So I quickly realized that that's a useless question. That was, I mean, maybe if I had looked at it from the other side and said, you don't have a VA, great.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That was something that I was like, okay, this is a question that I did not need on here, because it made no difference. Some of the girls that had the smallest lists and had no help at all were the ones that turned things in immediately.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. And when you were deciding the speakers for your summit, what were the things that you look at? And
so first of all, I made a list of what I wanted to talk about in the summit, right? So it was a summit all about periods. I knew that I wanted to talk about PMS. I knew that I wanted to talk about different healing modalities. I knew that I wanted to talk about birth control and the reality of it and the different kinds that were out there. I knew I wanted some doctors, so that we had, PhDs behind it. Not necessarily because I don't think that, I don't have a PhD and I know more than most doctors. But just to give the summit that look of, we've got doctors on it.
Exactly. That's a good. So you knew what you were lacking, in a sense, so you could find that thing to complement your skills or your whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
And I knew I wanted some woo. I knew I wanted some women that were going to talk about things that are highly controversial. I knew I wanted somebody who would talk about blood art and ingesting, using menstrual blood as healing. And I know that that's highly taboo and highly controversial. And I wanted that in the summit because I wanted women to see how far you can go. So that first step of just charting or using a cup and having to touch yourself, for some women, that is completely terrifying. But if they can see, this goes way down the rabbit hole, maybe they feel more comfortable doing just that first step, right? So I intentionally wanted the summit to push a lot of boundaries so that the envelope opened more and people would feel more comfortable taking those first steps. So I knew what I wanted it to look like. I knew I wanted it to be a road. I wanted people to feel comfortable, and I wanted it to be going down into the crazy, oh my God, this goes so deep hole. So I knew what I wanted. And then I started finding people who fit into those bits and pieces. And I did stumble across people that I didn't even know I wanted, and I snagged them up. I did ask about list size, and I compromised on that for some people. There were some people that I wanted, and I wanted them, and I didn't even care what their list size was. But on the other hand, I had 3 of this. So I looked at their list sizes before I made that final decision. And that's not just for my benefit, but the benefit of all of the speakers, because the more eyeballs we get in front of, the better for all of the speakers. And when you're running a summit, you are doing, well, at least I was doing everything that I could to make sure that my speakers got every advantage. So I wanted them to have as many opportunities for their own businesses as well. So I really hope that came across to them. But I also wanted to reach as many women as possible. Like that's the goal, is to end the taboo around the world. Like I need eyeballs. So both sides was part of it. And then I interviewed everybody like this on Zoom, and talked to every single person. And I picked people who were expressive and vocal and had good presence. And lastly, I looked at social media following as the last kind of thing. But I definitely wanted people that had good energy behind them and spoke with energy and excitement and engagement, because it gets boring. Yeah. Summit is just constant videos, one after another. And if you've got like 4 people who are boring, then you are asleep. So I wanted people who were fun and spicy and gestury. And, I took screenshots of every single interview and I used them for all of my marketing. And so I took screenshots of us with our heads thrown back and laughter and hands up, and we were doing the ovary gang symbols. And I wanted people who would play with me, because that was my marketing materials.
Of
so
course.
I made sure that they were engaging people to watch as well.
Oh, interesting. And did you have a minimum, just to I guess give a clue to those that are watching, when you were looking at the list of the speakers? Did you have the
standard advice is a 5,000 person minimum.
5,000?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not follow that advice.
Okay. Okay, so what was your standard?
Actually, I did not have one. I included people for this one because it was the first summit that I did, and it was there are people that were on it that were friends of mine that under absolutely no other circumstance would they have been on the summit, because they had a list of like 100 people,
Okay.
But I loved their teaching and I love what they had to say, and I thought what they were talking about was really important, and I wanted people to hear what they had to say, and I thought this is a great opportunity to get their message out and in front of more people, and more women should know what they have to say. And so I took it as an opportunity to pimp some of my friends who have very teeny lists.
That's awesome.
But I did for the rest of the speakers, I did a 1K minimum. So
okay.
I brought that down, but some of them had well over 5,000. So, I kind of balanced that out.
Yeah,
mm-hmm, exactly.
And that's interesting, because there is so many knowledgeable and experienced women out there, that have an amazing message to share with the world. But they might not have a big list for whatever reason. Maybe they don't invest that much in their marketing, or they don't have whatever reason that might be. Yeah. But it's amazing, how from the connections you build online or through networking events or any kind of strategy or things you do, is amazing to see those women that have that amazing message to share. How if you can find a way to help them share that message, it's just a game changer for everyone. And you are putting them in front of people that have to hear what they have to say. So it is amazing.
And this is that masculine feminine. The masculine would say, don't take anyone that has less than a 5K list, and the feminine says, what does your audience need to hear?
Exactly. Oh yes.
And that's
I
the
love
difference. Who are you serving, your people, or are you serving yourself? Can you do both? Can you bring in some big names and get some big lists on there? Yes. Can you also get what your people need to hear? Yes, you absolutely can. So, do it from that audience first place, and you will, but keep your eye on your business. Make sure you're doing good by yourself, because you need to go home and sleep well in a home. That's always nice. Pay your rent.
Yeah, exactly. Pay your bills.
Yeah, which is, I'm a big hypocrite because I don't even have a home, so I don't pay rent.
Well, you do have a
but
home.
You should pay your rent.
That's very interesting. And when you were discussing with these speakers the expectations, what you expected from them and what they could expect from you, what were the biggest challenges? That's one question that you found. And then the other thing is, what piece of advice could you give to those considering collaborating, when they discuss and when they set the expectations? What's the big piece of advice that you could give them so they can do it right?
Okay, so when I was talking to the speakers, I wish that I had drilled into them as if they were small children, that these were the requirements and this is what they were expected to do. And if they needed to take notes right then and there, to do that, because I had all this stuff in the speaker packet. It was a contract that they had to sign. And they all signed it, of course, but did they really read it? Obviously not, because I had to ask most of them several times to do the things that were in that. So I know that the next time when I'm talking to the speakers, before I have them officially sign on, that I will absolutely be sitting down and saying, these are the expectations. I need you to understand this, and to know that I will actually be following up on this. I subscribe to every single one of the speakers' email lists. I downloaded every single one of the freebies. I was in there. I know what they did. I know what they didn't do. I know what worked and what didn't. So I think that I would be a little bit more boss lady, school marm about it in that part. And I don't like that role particularly, but you know, some people were on that ball and some people were not, and more were not than were. So that just to me was like, okay. And you know, and we talked about it in the interviews, but I wasn't like, get out a pen and paper and write this down right now. I'm not joking. Seriously, get out a piece of paper and a pen and write this down and then hold it up to the camera when we're done. Like, I want to know that you know what these expectations are, and where to find the information that you'll need going forward. So, you know, as when you're sitting down to collaborate with anybody, you need to know very clearly what the expectations are. And this is where I say you absolutely should spend the money on getting the help before you start a collaboration. So I have 2 business coaches, and I still bought a summit program from a woman that I love here in the States, who runs business for women summits. That's just what she does. She runs summit after summit for femmepreneurs. And she has a summit packet, and it is a speaker contract. It is all of the the emails for the speakers. It's all of the behind the scenes things. Some of it was outdated, I will fully admit. Some of it's not really necessarily stuff that we need now. And it was freaking stupid expensive, but worth it? Yes, it was. It was totally worth it. I'm putting together my own version of that because some of the speakers from the summit have asked if they can buy my materials because they want to do a summit now. And so I'm putting together my own, because I made a spreadsheet that is, it's worth its weight in gold, this spreadsheet. But also, you know, to have a list of all of the expectations that are standard and should be laid out before starting a collaboration, whether it's between 2 people or 27, doesn't matter. And then having somebody, I would have liked to have had a support system. Like, I bought the packet, but I would have really liked to have a support system. So I think that one of the things is, I'm going to rent out my VA and just tell everyone you need to hire Sadiqa to be your VA. And you should grab this packet that I've put together and have me in your pocket before you start for just like a month to get all of your stuff put together, have another set of eyes looking at it to know what they're doing. Because that, I feel like, is where most of my time went, was because I didn't have a pair of eyes looking at it that knew what they were doing. And my VA she'd never run a summit either. So it was great because we were both like, I totally fucked that up. Can you help me? And we were very, very open and honest about what was going on and how, if it was working or not. And I mean, there were definitely times I sent her emails that were like, so I need you to tell the speakers that this was due 2 weeks ago. And if they don't fucking get it fucking tomorrow, they need you to say it way nicer than that. So like, it was good to have somebody that I could blow off steam with, and somebody that would help and be there on my team with me, and make things sound much nicer. Yes. But I would have really appreciated having just like 1 month or like 2 calls with somebody who I could have screen shared with and been like, this is my plan, this is what I've got, what needs to, read my summit, list. And, you do things and you think that it's perfectly clear, like everyone gives you an opt-in, right? You get you do a free gift so that people watching the summit will sign on to your list. Like that's kind of your business perk. And you expect that everyone's going to send you a link to their opt-in, which would, go through their email. But the day before the summit, I got an email with just a PDF. And I was like, okay, well, I'm happy to put this up there. But don't you want people to sign up to your list? Or is all of your information I see that it's on this PDF. So is that fine with you? And she was like, oh, I thought you would do that. And I was like, what do you mean I would do that? I don't even know what that sentence means. Like, I would do what for you? I'm going to collect emails for 27 people and then download them into spreadsheets and give them to you or something?
Oh, gosh.
So, I got 26 links, but 1 didn't. And then, she cut and pasted from the speaker agreement where it wasn't perfectly 100. I did not say, give me a link for your opt-in that goes to your email address so that you can collect. Like, I didn't spell that out in like super clear colors. And that's where I was like, you know what, if I had somebody else looking at this, they might have, I doubt it though, because I did get 26 people who were like,
exactly. They got them to you.
Yeah. So, but it is one of those things that when you're doing it for yourself, you know what you mean.
Exactly. You need someone else to actually pick up those things that might need improvement or that might need to be tweaked a little bit. Yeah, definitely.
And I'm happy to tell people, you need to just say this 3 more times because they won't hear you the first 2. So just put it in 3 more times. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Because when you're doing it, you feel like you're constantly emailing and you're constantly telling people about it and you're talking about it endlessly and you feel like you're being a complete pain in the ass for everyone all of the time. And then you get an email. It's like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. And you're like, I sent 10 emails. How did you miss 10 emails? Okay. So, but they do. Yeah. So to have somebody that's just standing there going, you need to say that 4 more times, or you need to say that 7 more times. Well, you need to say that 1 more time. Like, it's really helpful to have somebody that's just in your corner talking you down off of no, you haven't said it enough. Say it 4 more times.
That's interesting. And can I ask, Stasha, with your summit, did you, I guess, was there any kind of monetary reward for the speakers, or was just this pretty much them sharing their knowledge, telling what they had to share, and that's it? And then, of course, other things behind it, but from a financial point of view, there was something around that for them.
I think that one of the most powerful things you can do as the host of a summit is to put the power to make money into your speaker's hands. And this is another thing, you need to have a lot of systems to run a summit. And this is where having a mentor or somebody who's already got systems set up that can help you is a huge asset, because you don't realize how many systems you really need to have to do this. But to have an affiliate payout system is a huge thing that you need. And I think that it's really important because if you say to your speakers, you have the power of making money simply by sharing this, they're much more likely to share it. And you keep in mind that running a summit is not a money-making first venture. I know that there are business coaches out there that's like, run a summit and make 7 figures off of it. Do you have 1 million people on your list, and do all of your speakers have 1 million people on your list? Then you're not making $1 million off of your summit. Just let it go. Let it go. Instead, focus on the real purpose of a summit, which is educating your people and reaching a wider variety of people with your message, changing the world for good, and building your list. And those are the things that you want to do. So let go of the money. 2 out of 3, right? Let go of the money part.
Exactly.
If you build your list, you will make money. Then you're going to offer something the next my summit goes directly into the FPMS launch. You're going to watch all of these women talking about how you can make your period better, and then I'm going to actually give you the opportunity to do it with me.
You have
right?
you have a strategy.
Yes, absolutely. The summit itself is not the thing that you're making money. So give your speakers 50%. Just look, if you share the summit and people buy the package, you get half. Screw it. Just give them half, because they'll be so much more inclined to email their list more than once or at all. Let's start with at all. And then there's, at any summit, your speakers should be mailing them out twice to their list, but they don't. So, but they're much more inclined to if they can make money doing it, right? So just give them half. Just here, take half and do it. And then great, you make 40, 50 bucks. Who cares? The point is that you'll get 100 more signups if that speaker thinks they can make a couple of bucks than if there's no monetary reward at all, and they forget because there's no reward, and they don't email, and then you get a text from one of your speakers after the summit's over asking when the summit's going to go up.
Yes.
Give them a monetary reward, because even when they have a monetary reward, that's going to happen.
But that's interesting, because the monetary reward is going to come with your launching, but it didn't come from the summit.
No, I've had people that bought the package. We're in the Encore week right now. So this is when I think most people will be buying the package if they're going to buy it. But half of what I make is going to a charity. So, my summit is 50% of what I make is going to Days for Girls. So if you buy the summit directly through me and you bought it for, let's just say even numbers for the sake of even numbers. So let's say the package was $100. You bought it for $100. You bought it through me directly. So that means I got $100. 50 of that's going to Days for Girls.
Yeah.
Now, say you were one of my affiliates for the summit.
Yeah.
You sold a package. So you sold $100. You're getting $50 and I'm getting $50. Well, $25 is going to Days for Girls. So I'm getting $25 out of that 100. I don't care, because you emailed your list. You got me in front of however many eyeballs. You got however many people into the summit, right? Because you obviously promoted it if somebody bought it. The conversion rate on buying a summit is something like 1 to 3%. Like 3% is really high. So you're not making, that's not the thing. And then I'm giving half of it to freaking Days for Girls, because I love what they're doing. I love the work that they're doing. I love the charity. Their COO came and did an interview with us for the summit. So you can actually see how awesome they are. And we're supporting a really good organization that works worldwide. I would much rather do that and have my summit showing that we're doing something good for the world and for people who don't have the privilege that we do, and have that feel good karma go out there than to make an extra 25 bucks. Because at the end of the day, it's my responsibility to convert these people that watch the summit into buying something from me for full price. So, the FPMS is going out. It's $97 early bird. That's all for me. 100% of that goes to me. So I would rather let go of $25 to Days for Girls and $50 to my affiliate than the $100, hopefully, that will be coming in from people buying the program at the end of the summit. So you have to look at money and numbers from a feminine perspective rather than from that masculine, take every red cent and run perspective, because you won't make as much in the end, really.
That's exactly right.
You know?
That's exactly right. Yeah, I agree with you. And most of the collaboration, I guess, collaborative relationships and the collaboration projects, they usually don't come with an immediate financial reward anyway. It just comes from the experience of working together, the relationship that you develop, the things that you learn from each other. And if you figure out that you are actually a good match, then other things come up later on.
Totally.
So,
totally.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my book partner. So my charting book, I have a partner, an illustrator in Australia, and she created the charting mandala fan, which is a freebie I have on my site. We both have a freebie version that we give out, but she's an Australian, I'm in the States. So when you buy, if you're in Australia, you can't buy through me. There is no system for Americans to sell books in Australia, as it turns out. And equally, there's not really a way for Australians to sell books in the States unless you go to a printer and you pre-order copies and you have somebody on the ground in that country to help you. But it was just easier for us to say, look, if anyone comes to you in the States, you send them to me. And if anyone comes to me from Australia, I send them to you. So we are both responsible for selling the book for our own profit. And she made a really big fancy book and she had to print out copies early and this and that and the other. And I did print on demand, and mine are like a coloring book. Hers are way prettier. I'd love to have a copy of hers, frankly, but it's not something that I can do in the States because I don't have a home. So I can't store 1,000 pre-ordered copies, right? So, it's a beautiful collaboration. We make a new edition every year. So we're working on the 2018 edition right now. We're doing a menopause book. So our collaboration has turned into not just our charting book, but a yearly charting book with the moon energies for the coming year. The menopause book we're putting together. We're going to work on one for teens. We're going to work on so many different projects. And now when I need help with like a PDF or something, I message her and I go, hey, how much for you to help me with this thing? Because she knows me, she knows what I like, she knows my brand. She's an amazing person to work with and I love her to death. And if I can send her, $50 to throw together this quick thing or $100 to throw together this more complicated thing, I'd rather give it to her.
Yeah, that's
right?
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Is what happens after that. Is the relationship you build that will bring you the money, if money, is a big deal.
She was not my first illustrator.
That's really, and I've heard so many stories like that, that just started from a very informal collaboration, and then the relationship was built from there, and amazing things happen afterwards. So it is fantastic to see those examples. Awesome. And so you've shared really, really, really good tips for anyone that is looking to put together a summit, and I'm really looking forward to hear more once you have that program ready to go, to help others that might be looking at creating a summit, to do so in an effective way and making sure that they don't make the same mistakes that you made. It just sounds amazing. So we'll have to keep in touch and keep talking about it later on. And but do you have anything else, Stasha, that you would like to share with those that are watching when it comes to business collaboration?
When it comes to business collaboration, I really just think it's very important that you have really good systems of communication for your collaborators. I think that's one thing. I mean, we talked about putting the power in their hands, making a monetary investment and then letting go because it'll either work or it won't. And being really clear in your requirements. But I think another thing that's really important is have a system for talking to each other and have it just be a very clear system. So Just like you would have a system for VA. You know, some people use Evernote, some people use Asana, some people use Dropbox, whatever it is, make sure that you have a really clear system that you're setting up for your business collaboration. Chantal and I, my Australian illustrator, we are Facebook Messenger. That is all we use, Facebook Messenger. So if you ever need anything, it's either in there or you go, hey, can you send me that thing again? It's way up there. I can't find it. And it's fine because we know that it's Facebook
That's how
Messenger,
it works for you.
We know where everything is all of the time. There's no like, it's an email here and it went to that address and this address and oh, there's this in Google Drive and that, and you know, it's right there. And then you just download it quickly and keep it on your own computer.
That's good. That's good.
But have a really clear thing. So for the speakers for the summit, we did email. They had my admin email address, which Sudiksha and I both have access to. So they had one email address they were going back and forth to. So they didn't have to worry about an assistant email or anything like that. And we had a Google folder. And everything that they needed was in there. And then the only other thing we have was the affiliate system, which you need an affiliate system for, and that you've got to have its own system. So, but you have that there, and I had the link to the affiliate system in the Google folder. So really everything was in that Google folder. And if it was links to other things, it was all there in one spot. So, and Sudiksha even took the list of expectations, requirements, the whole 9 yards, the media release, everything. And she made one master document out of it and she broke it up for them. So it was like the media release was a clickable link that just took them right to the media release. So it was very clear and efficient for them. And then we had our own folder that was the back end of the summit. So that's where our master spreadsheet list went. That's where our marketing conversations happened, all that kind of stuff. So whatever that system is, like you don't have to spend money on a system. It can be a free system. Like my 7-figure business coach uses freaking Google Drive. It's free. So yeah, it doesn't have to cost money. It just has to be the system that you use. Get a really clear system.
Yeah, that's really important. That's really important. For me, it was a big learning, that one as well. When I was creating the hub, we used Facebook, a Facebook group, but there were some speakers that were not into it at all. So I needed to email them everything. So yeah, I guess that's part of the learning curve and the things that you learn and how people work and all that sort of stuff. So that's really good.
Yeah, that sounds like me and my programs, because I don't like emailing. I don't like having emails that I need to deal with in my inbox. So I don't like my people in my program having to look at emails. So I tell people up front, like, this is all going to happen in the Facebook group. Yes. And then I have WordPress courseware. So everything that you need to know is going to be in the Facebook group. And if you want to look at the courseware stuff, you have access to it here, though. You know, at this point, that's not even a requirement. That's just like a bonus. So it's like everything is going to happen in the Facebook group. If you do not use Facebook, if you don't want to use Facebook, if you're not in it in any way, shape, or form, this is not going to be the program for you.
That's interesting. So that's another thing about letting go, you know?
Yeah.
Let it go. If you are on board with this is how it works. And if it doesn't work for you, then it's not for you.
Yeah, I mean, we have an email list. You know, there's a YBYF email list. I have an automation. It sends you out the reminder that we're meeting live. And I don't have to think about it because I set the automation and I click start and it just goes. But everything happens in the group. All of the conversation happens in the group. The events are listed in the group. If something changes, like I'm a nomad. So, you know, there were a couple times that we had to switch a day. That notification went to the group. The event changed in the group. So it was like everyone knew that they needed to check in on the group at least once a week to see what was going on and everything. So, yeah, so that's where it all happened. And then the links to all of the videos and everything were in the pinned post of the group. It makes it easy.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. And just to, I guess, wrap up, could you, Stasha, share with us what this particular collaboration, and maybe you will be talking from previous experiences as well, working in collaboration, what are the main benefits that you've seen for you, your business, and your clients, you know, from those collaborations?
Yeah. So for me, it's made me a much better leader. That's just my personal. I am a native New Yorker, and I think living in California made me a little less wham bam, thank you ma'am, leader wise. And it's really, doing this has really allowed me to embrace my native New Yorker and just, this is what needs to be done. This is how it needs to be done. I need you to say it back to me. Thank you. Okay. And then we can go. Like, it really has just made me, or allowed me, not even made me, but allowed me to really just embrace that leadership person, that leadership skill that I have in there, and use it. For my business, the summit almost doubled my email list. Almost. So, you know, if you can double your email list with the summit, which is, you know, what all of the gurus out there say, then win, right? Who would not do that? So, so that was, for my business, epic. And I actually sold a spot in FPMS before the doors opened, before he'd even talked about it, just because somebody from the summit emailed me.
Wow.
And asked questions and how she could work with me. And I told her about that. And she was like, can I just buy it right now? I know it's not started yet, but I was like, sure. So it's working.
That's good. That's good.
And then for my people, I have gotten a bunch of emails from people that, you know, I really am so glad I got to hear a speaker, or I tried doing this thing that you mentioned and it's already, I'm seeing an improvement, or, you know, I tried doing this thing and it was awesome. I think I can do more. What should I do next? So a lot of it, a lot of people have just said, you know, one of my favorite things that I hear back from people is, I've stopped caring about who hears me when I talk about my period now. Now it's just part of my conversation, and it's going to be part of my conversations going forward. And I know that it's going to be weird and awkward at first, but I'm doing it and I'm already feeling more powerful, and it's exciting, and I love it. Even Katie, who interviewed me for the summit, goes, you know, since I've been working with you, I talk about my period all of the time. And my girlfriends are like, whoa, let's talk about periods. And she goes, they're so much more in tune now, and they know more now. And I can see in my girlfriends the difference that it's making. So I love hearing that, because that means not only did I help one person become more comfortable and awesome and confident and a killer kick-ass human being and connect to her period, but now all of her girlfriends are too. And that's the ripple effect, right?
Exactly. So, and so you are getting the message across really well. And it's not just coming from you, it's coming from another bunch of women that also share experience or feelings about that topic, and they are being part of this movement, I guess, of spreading the word and making others feel more comfortable talking about that taboo topic. So you've achieved your goal, I guess, and that's amazing from client's point of view. So the way you wanted to help them, that's happening. And that's amazing. That makes, I guess, that the way you can read this is that you went really well when you selected your speakers, and they all have done their bit to make sure that the message get across
totally
in the way you wanted it. So
totally,
regardless of
I think one of the most important things there is that you said, and it made me think of this, is that a lot of women fear competition, right? This is the taboo of menstruation forces us into isolation, and it prevents us from being able to talk to each other and communicate and rely on each other. And I get it, and I get the sociology behind it all. But one of the things that I did, one of the reasons I wanted to do this summit, in fact, was because I felt like all of my clients and my Facebook group and the people that follow me in my tribe, they hear me talking about this stuff, but there's nobody backing me up because they don't hear anyone else talking about it, or they might have one or two other people that they've heard from or talked to or whatever, but they don't see them in maybe necessarily a professional space or light. So instead of thinking of doing something like a summit or any kind of collaboration with somebody as, oh my God, I'm bringing my competition business, think about it as somebody reinforcing what you're saying. This is, you're collaborating with other people who are going to maybe not agree with you on point to point, but that's okay. They're ultimately reinforcing what you're saying. And what I'm saying is the taboo needs to end and you need to connect to your period. And if that's not with me, I honestly, just as long as you go do it. So if you watched my summit and you saw Laura Bryden, who's a doctor in Australia, and you thought, oh my God, I love her scientific approach. I really want somebody who can see me and take my health insurance or whatever. Oh my God, awesome. Because you're going to talk to somebody who knows what they're doing, is going to get you comfortable with that cycle and that period. And then maybe you will come back and talk to me about, you know, running your life with your flow and maybe doing some of the more esoteric, deeper connecting work. And maybe that is your first step. So, you know, even if that, it's not driving away people at all, it's getting, if your goal is truly altruistic, it's truly, you want to make the world a better place, then you're bringing your clients people that they can choose from so that they make that first step. And that's ultimately what really matters, is that they make that first step. And it might not be with you, but even if it is, they may have never made it if there weren't 3 other people on that summit who literally just said what you said.
Yes, that's
but now that they've heard it 7 times in a row, they might actually believe you and think that maybe it can work for them. So maybe they will do it now. Yeah. So we have this competition mindset because of this taboo, and it's a long history and I go into it often. So all you have to do is follow me and I will at some point talk about it and you'll hear it. It's like one of my pet peeves in life. But if you can switch that script in your head and stop thinking competitively and masculine and start thinking collaboratively and feminine, you can see a much bigger world view and perspective. And when you embrace that, sit back and let it come to you, egginess, it will come to you.
I love that. And that kind of sum up lots of the things that we've talked about the interview, you know, that when it comes to collaboration, it actually is about the value that you are adding to your followers, your audience, your tribe, your clients. And, you know, in my view, I always say that the way that you share the information that you share is your way. No one else is going to do it the way you do it. So there is going to be people that will resonate with you, and there is people that are going to resonate with Dr. Laura, you said, right? So that's the way it is. Doesn't matter what you do. So
totally.
It's pointless just to have that mindset of competition and feeling threatened by others that might be experts in your same field, because at the end of the day there is going to be people that will resonate with you and there are people that are not going to resonate with you. So I love that about collaboration, and I always say that, you know, it just brings us to a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. So at the end of the day, that's what we all want. If we want to create a business that is more sustainable and that is focused on adding value and that is gonna change the world in a way, because it's gonna create that, you know, abundance and, you know, making things work in collaboration rather than competition. So I love it. I love all the things you shared today. So thank you very, very much for being here today, Stasha. So and I'm so excited to share this interview. I cannot wait until it's ready to be released, because I know that there is a lot of people out there that are going to get a lot of value from it. So before we finish off, can you let everyone know where they can find you and how they can connect with you if they want to work with you?
Totally. So theperiodcoach.com is my website. And if you want a really rad group of women, my Facebook group is the Red Circle Lady Business. And both of those places, my website obviously is very much grab freebies, get cool stuff, that kind of thing. And my Facebook group is very much a sisterhood circle. It's a community, and it's a hashtag judgment free, taboo free zone. So, you can come in there and just be you and ask any question. There is no question too dumb or too smart. We love it all in there. So I think those are probably the two best ways to get a hold of me.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Stasha. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of you. And let's take a photo when we finish, because I love this photo. So thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward to hear more from you. So till next time, okay?
Thank you.